Om Ajnana-timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Siddhantotpala Saranitya Rasikam Hangsam Vilasatmakam Audaryakya Sudhama Sevakadhanam Vishramba Bhakti Pradam Yajna Jukti Vichakshanam Tvaghabiro Vaishishta Shaktya Sada Vandeham Tripurari Namakayatim Shri Bhakti Vedantinam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Swami Shri Bhakti Vedanta Prabhupadaya Te Namaha Gurvagyam Shirasi Dritva Shaktya Swarupine Hare Krishneti Mantrena Paschatya Prachatarine Vishvacharya Prabhardyaja Divya Karunya Murtaye Shri Bhagavata Madhurya Gita Jnana Pradayine Gaura Sri Rupa Siddhanta Saraswati Nishevine Radha Krishna Padam Bhoja Bringaya Gurave Namaha Devam Divyatanum Suchanda Vadanam Balarka Chelanchitam Sandrananda Puram Sadeka Varanam Vairagya Vidyam Buddhim Shri Siddhanta Nidhim Subhakti Lasitam Sarasvatanam Varam Vande Tam Shubhadam Adeka Sharanam Nyasishwaram Shridharam Vande Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Sahodito Gaudadaye Pushpavanto Chitro Sangdo Tamonado Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Welcome again. This is the last class of this series on the first chapter of Bhagavad-gita. So I will just give a brief summary of what we have gone through so far. In the first class, we were looking at how we are getting the Bhagavad-gita, like how it's coming to us. And so, for example, Ganesh is the one who is transcribing it while listening to Srila Vyasadeva. And we know from Brahma Samhita and the commentaries of Prabhupada and Srila Maharaj that Ganesh always has the feet of Nrsingadev on his head. And we also know that Nrsingadev is giving the blessings to understand Shastra, like in the example of Sridhar Swami and Jiva Goswami and our Guru Maharaj. And then, of course, we have Vyasadeva speaking, and he is the Shakti Avesh avatar of invested with Krishna's Gyan Shakti. And then we have Sanjaya speaking, like narrating the Bhagavad-gita to Dhritarashtra. And Sanjaya's name indicates that he has conquered his senses. So he has realization of what he's speaking about here when he's speaking about non-attachment and attachment. And then, of course, we have Krishna and Arjuna speaking, Krishna, Bhagavan himself, and Arjuna, a pure devotee. So it's a very blessed message coming through. And then just a little, very brief background on the story of what is happening here on the battlefield. So it's there are many places one could start telling the story, but to be brief but still kind of get the essence here, it's two sons of Vyasadeva, Pandu and Dhritarashtra. And Dhritarashtra was born first, so in a sense he should have inherited the kingdom, but he was blind. So Pandu, who was the next son, got to take over the kingdom. And when Pandu died, then the kingdom, then like the question is, should the kingdom go to his sons or to Dhritarashtra's sons? And it should rightfully go to Pandu's sons, but Dhritarashtra's sons wanted the kingdom, and this is what the war is about. To be very brief, there's a lot of intrigue and complicated stories behind, but so now the Pandavas are on one side of the battlefield, and the Dhritarashtra's sons on the other side, with Duryodhan in front. And Arjuna has Krishna as his charioteer, which is very special. And Arjuna has asked Krishna to draw out the chariot in between the two armies on the battlefield. And Krishna draws the chariot in front of Drona and Bhishma, who are actually devotees of Krishna, but somehow have ended up on the wrong side of the battle. And Arjuna, like I said, he's a pure devotee, but here Krishna puts him under a spell for the sake of us, because now Arjuna will be like one of us. He will be feeling like an illusioned soul, not knowing what to do. And so today we will look at his rationalizations for not fighting. So let's see. Because here is so here we should kind of put ourselves in his shoes, although of course it's a very different situation. But we should take inspiration from this whole conversation between Krishna and Arjuna for our own spiritual practice. Because as we try to advance, we will come across obstacles, and it's mainly about facing our attachment and transcending them. So this is what Krishna is doing to Arjuna here. He's showing Arjuna his attachments. And Arjuna here, he has just like when he sees them, he has a panic attack. It's kind of explained like that in the verse, how he's he can't even stand up anymore. He sits down on the chariot and he feels like he's losing his mind. And then he says, "Oh Krishna," and he tells him that he cannot see any shreyas in fighting, and shreyas is ultimate good, because we have preyas, which means the short-term good, like when something, like for example, like sometimes there's a joke like that laziness pays off now and work pays off later. So in this example, laziness is preyas, and the reward that one will get for one's work later on is shreyas. But of course, it means like ultimate good, like not just enjoying now, but kind of doing the hard work now and to achieve some higher good in the future. But Arjuna cannot see how there can be any higher good in killing these people on the other side, because they are all like one family. And he feels like he has no desire for victory or a kingdom or a pleasure that are derived from these. Because what is the use of having a kingdom when you don't have this family to share it with? So he's feeling that even if they attack, he doesn't feel like even defending himself. And he says even if he could win the whole universe, he would not want to fight. So what to speak of just this small little kingdom that this war is about. And let's see. And also they have been, the Pandavas have been attacked by Duryodhana and his brothers. So it's not like it's legally totally okay for them to kill these aggressors, but it's not okay according to Dharma. Arjuna is arguing. Because it is against Dharma, for example, to kill one's guru or one's elders, like Bhishma and Drona. And then kind of sensing that Krishna is kind of indicating to him that well, like they are prepared to fight with you, as if they also know these dharmic rules. And Arjuna says, yes, but even if they are overcome by greed, then why should we who know better also engage in this? And here there are some interesting commentaries on this, that it's Arjuna is showing himself as if he is very noble, and so he's pointing out like that they are overcome by greed, but actually he's kind of posing as he himself is not. But the thing is that his rationalizations are based on, like, even if all these arguments sound very good and logical and also emotionally like right, sane, and they're still based on his material attachment. Then he goes on to say that if we kill, like if the elders of the dynasty are killed, then the tradition will be lost, and those who survive will be overcome by sinfulness. And if they become overcome by sinfulness, then women in society will be exploited, and there will be inappropriate mixing of the varnas. Like mixing of the castes, and then society will become hellish, and even the ancestors will fall down. Like those who have already passed away are being maintained in a Vedic society by those who live now, because they are offering something called pinda, kind of maintaining the forefathers. So since this tradition will also be lost, then the forefathers will also be lost. And just like this kind of disintegration of society will create this inappropriate mixing of the varnas, the outcome of this mixing will also further, like these people will also further destroy the culture, like whatever is left of the culture. And Arjuna is saying that he has heard from reliable sources that those in this condition will live in hell indefinitely. So he concludes that it's better for him to kill him unarmed and unresisting. And there was also a funny commentary on this by Satyanarayana Das Babaji, because he was saying that that Arjuna does what is called nowadays a Freudian slip when he says those words, because he says it's better for me if they kill me unarmed and unresisting. So he's admitting that it's not that it's in the highest good, but it's better for his ego if they kill him unarmed and unresisting, because then he can die and kind of know that he will be remembered as the one who was so noble as not to fight. But the thing is that his base motive for not fighting is his ego. It's not all these noble things, and it's also pointed out in the commentaries that Krishna would have accepted if Arjuna wanted to take sannyas and just leave the battlefield if he did it for the right reason, because he does talking about leaving the battlefield, but for the wrong reason. So if he actually understood Krishna's teachings in Bhagavad-gita and then concluded to take sannyas and leave, that would also have been all right. But so it's not that Krishna's main point is trying to get Arjuna to fight, but to give up his attachments. So yeah, after saying all these doubts, then Arjuna basically he says he's not going to fight, and the chapter ends there. And we can see in the commentaries to the beginning of the second chapter that Dhritarashtra is here feeling some hope that like maybe Arjuna will actually just give up here. But Sanjaya indicates to Dhritarashtra that Krishna is on his side and he will enlighten him. So Arjuna will ultimately fight and also win the war. And I remember a thing I heard early on when I joined Krishna Consciousness. There was someone giving a class and they said that everyone has their personal Maya, their particular personal reason why they cannot surrender. And I feel like this is very true. And but the key here is like the name for this whole chapter is Vishada Yoga, to connect our, like when we come into this, when we face this kind of desperateness, when we realize what it is that we actually have to do to make progress, that we turn to Krishna, even if we have all these doubts. Arjuna is showing that like Guru Maharaj says, come to the Guru and doubt. So it's not that we should think that we have, I don't know, like if we have doubts, how do you say? Like there are no stupid questions. That it's only stupid not to ask, one could say. So Arjuna is totally revealing all his doubts to Krishna. He has also a fault in how he presents his doubts, because he wants Krishna to agree with him, but at the same time he's also open to like whatever Krishna will say, and this is the quality we have to try to imbibe from Arjuna. And that is what I could think of for today. So if anyone has any questions or other talking points or comments, we can extend this a little bit. Otherwise, I wish you a good evening or day. Okay. Thank you all very much.
Can I say one thing, Syamananda Prabhu?
Yes.
I wasn't able to, I didn't hear the whole class today. I will listen to it later, but I just wanted to express my appreciation for this series. I have enjoyed it very, very much. So thank you so much for giving these classes.
Thank you so much for your encouragement and support. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo. Srimad Bhagavad-gita ki jai.